Hey, my name is Jobby, and it must be the end of the world, because I'm finally gonna take a look at this overworked piece of shit. So how do I even begin such a highly anticipated video? Well, I could do some kind of unfunny skit that goes on for too long and misses the point of the entire video, or I could do an in-depth analysis of the Evangelion series itself. Or how about I take a third option and say, fuck off, this is a toy review. But that's a little unfair to all the Eva fans who waited patiently for this video. What was it, like 4 years? And for those of you who don't know what Evangelion is, the last thing I want to do is try to explain this clusterfuck. A boy named Shinji Ikari gets summoned by his mad scientist father to pilot a giant robot that he helped design. This robot is known as the Evangelion, and it's up to Shinji, his new friends, and of course, the mighty Evangelion to defend the Earth from alien creatures known as angels. And then the apocalypse happened. It's a dark and existential story that asks the question, what would actually happen if a mentally unstable 14-year-old were forced to pilot a giant robot? And of course the answer to that question is that he would come on his comatose friend's chest. My short thoughts on the series are, I'm obsessed with it, but I fucking hate it. There's a lot to like in the show. Plenty of great concepts that are not quite executed properly. I'll just keep it at that for now. I'll save my full thoughts for a possible full review of the series. Spoiler! Okay, I don't hate the show. I mean, if I did, I wouldn't have spent over 3 months working on an Evangelion model kit. Which reminds me, what is this video about again? The painting and the sculpting on this model kit are two separate things, but I will do my best to talk about them at the same time. With my paint job, I attempted to give the Eva a weathered, battle-worn look, because honestly, that's all I can do. But for what I did, I think it came out pretty good, and all I did was dip a sponge in red paint and lightly patted specific areas of the kit. I even bloodied the left hand more than the right hand, as a reference to one shot of the opening. And speaking of those blood effects, I might have gone a little overboard, but to be fair, the show went a little overboard. And I'm pretty glad to say that this kit looks great unpainted, but the shade of purple that it comes in was a little too light for my tastes. I especially love how the head came out. I painted the eyes in a similar way that I did the Blitz eyes, which I'm never doing a tutorial for, please stop asking. And if you open her mouth, you can see that I painted her tongue. Due to reasons related to the TV show, yes, I am calling it her. I wouldn't want to trigger Third Impact in the comments. And like most of my custom paint jobs, I completely avoided stickers. Well, I mean, it's behind a clear piece and it's never gonna peel off, which was my main complaint about stickers in the first place, and I'm a hypocrite. Please lynch me. So coming to her back, you can pull up on this piece here and that kind of looks like shit on camera. If I flip the kit upside down and carefully remove that, you get a cigarette. Actually, this is what you call an entry plug, and this is actually where the pilot goes. And moving further down, we can see these 3 holes. This fits pretty neatly in the holes, and this cable is actually posable. And in the show, this plug is used to supply external power to the Evangelion, because without the plug, it could only last for like 5 minutes. So basically an iPhone. I'm a little disappointed that the cable leads to nowhere, but this is more than made up for with all the other accessories that you get. You get this beautiful Gatling gun, which I painted metallic gray and dry brush silver. The magazine is removable, and you can see that I painted the bullets. Is this really impressive or really sad? And you can take this trigger finger hand, remove the fingers, put it right there, reattach, and the Eva can't hold it with one hand. But you do get a supporting left hand, and that helps the Eva wield the gun really nicely. You also get the iconic pallet rifle. That fits into the Eva's hands the same way. You also get the progressive knife, which is a superheated knife that gives the Eva 4 million undeserved subscribers. I think the blood effect came out pretty cool. And this fits easily into this knife-wielding hand. You also get an alternate knife, which, if you open up the left shoulder, remove this piece, stick it onto here, you can simulate the Eva deploying the knife. I wish they found a way to fit the actual knife in there, but I'm a bitch. You also got a stand connector that should plug into her crotch, but I'm not gonna do it, it's gonna fuck up my paint. But it would have allowed you to plug it into a master grade stand. And what is debatably the coolest accessory you get? This is what you call an AT field, which is a force field that both angels and humans can project. For humans, our AT fields is what keeps us from forming truly meaningful connections with each other. And also it keeps us from dissolving into orange juice. I'm not creative enough to come up with this shit. And finally, you get a fist, but the Eva doesn't come with an accessory that can fit in there. But if you have another Eva kit with accessories, you can easily fit the Lance of Longinus in there. I know it's Longinus, but just let me have this. Not even her accessory, but I think it looks the coolest. And this is where I address what I said at the beginning. Hey, my name is Jobby, and it must be the end of the world, because I'm finally gonna take a look at this overworked piece of Yes, the model kit might look cool, partly due to my paint job, but it's not the most fun to pose. In fact, it's one of the worst feelings next to waiting in a long line and coming on your friend's chest. For any aspiring model kit painter who's short on time, I highly suggest that you stay the fuck away from this specific top coat. Fuck this shit, fuck this shit, fuck this shit! It has a great looking flat finish, but the problem is that it takes fucking forever to dry out. So I fully top coated this kit, left to San Francisco for a week, came back, and it was still swiveling sticky. And even now, a week after that. So I don't know what it is about this paint, but you could put it in my ass. It might not be obvious on camera, but I've already ruined the top coat of this thing with fingerprints and tears. If you have any suggestions for alternate acrylic top coats, please leave them down in the comments for my sake and for everyone's sake. But with all that shit being said, I must have run away. Ball joint here. Can look up that far and down that far. Mouth, of course, open. Loose ass up and down. Chest plates open. Forward movement at the shoulders. Ball joint at the shoulders. Rotation. Shoulder pylons move. Is that even a word? No bicep swivel. Limited bend at the elbow due to this rubber coating. Ball joint at the wrist that easily pops off. But for some reason, it's extremely tight, which prevents me from ball joint here, and ball joint here. Which, of course, you had to be really careful with. It also allows some side to side and some twisting motion. The hips can shift. Ball joint at the hips. Ball joint at the upper thigh. Leg rotates really far up. Double bend at the knee. Knee pad moves. Ball joint at the ankle. A pivot. Ball joint at this foot guard. And if you shift it forwards, you can use this loose ass toe. And check it out. I painted the bottom of the feet. Love me, please. Due to the fragility of the model kit, I shouldn't, but I must have swivel here. 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 Swivel here! Despite technically being a high grade, this kit is freaking huge. Here's Masterpiece Optimus Prime, Figma Madoc Economy, SH Monster Arts Godzilla, and the last model of 500 years, the Master Grade Blitz Gundam. Overall, there's a lot to like about this model kit, and in a way, I do love it. But I fucking hate it. But it looks cool. And if you wanted this model kit for yourself, you can always get it at the Amazon.com. So how do I possibly end such a highly anticipated video? Well, I could do some kind of unfunny skit that lasts too long and people will skip because it's the end of the video. Or I could just say, congratulations. Thank you. Thank you all. Some music's playing. Subscribe button. Is this really the end? Wait, seriously? Are you telling me we waited over 3 months for just a 5-minute video? I mean, there was so much left to talk about. Where was the creativity, the skits, the sex jokes? What about the swivels? Okay, look, I get it. I must have swivel here. I get that. But even if this wasn't the end, where the fuck would you go? You talked yourself into a corner, didn't you? I bet you ran out of lube too, you bastard. Special thanks to Spike Spencer, the English voice actor for Shinji Ikari, for liking my tweet. I'm not sure what you heard in my performance, but it's not as good as yours. Ray! 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 I'm so fucked up.